Hi, everybody. I'm Camila Ramon, and today on the show, we are celebrating Halloween.
It's that time of the year, y'all. So get out your Halloween costumes, all of your Halloween vibes. Maybe pour yourself a Halloween, cocktail. Listen to some Halloween stories.
What's it called? Pumpkin spice latte, if you will.
That too, yeah. Love.
It's finally time. I've been fighting it this entire year. Everyone in August were like, PSL season. I'm like, relax, okay? It's not time yet. Now it's officially time, okay? And if you know anything about me, you know that I like to celebrate Halloween, but my Halloween vibes are a little bit more silly than spooky. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Ayden Castellanos from the podcast Susto, who's going to come scare the shit out of us, hopefully.
Yes, good morning, ghoul friends. Hi.
Good morning. So Susto is a podcast about scary stories centered around the folklore of Latinx and Hispanic cultures. So I hope you're all ready because this is Hasta Abajo. Drop the beat.
I'm in a very spooky city called New York City. So if you hear some spooky sirens in the background, we're already setting the tone. You're welcome. They are paid actors. So Susto is a podcast that has been around since 2019. We are so excited to welcome our guest, Ayden Castellanos. Welcome to Hasta Abajo, baby.
Hi. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
For the record, Ayden is like, his room is all like green and black. What are those ears?
They're like my headphones, but I have these horn attachments on them.
Oh my God.
To show off
El Diablo
my true
himself.
form.
Where are you and what time of the day is it that your room is green? Because we don't know where you are, what's going on.
So this is the 6th layer of hell, and it is, no, I'm kidding. Basically the same thing. I'm currently based in Austin, Texas. I'm originally from the Rio Grande Valley, or the RGV, which is right on the Texas-Mexico border, but I've been haunting Austin for the last maybe 4 years now.
That is awesome. I just got back from Austin. And it was hella hot, but no, I like Austin. I like it.
I'm going to Austin today, actually.
Okay, Austin.
We're random. We're running on the Formula One track, which is insane. I'm running a 5K on it, which is so sick, right?
That's
exciting.
So sick.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Well, Ayden, thanks for being here. We're gonna dive into things because we love Halloween. So, what are your favorite scary movies?
Oof. Oh my God. Okay. So I'll just say this really quick. There's a big misconception about me from people that listen to the show, or even like family and friends who don't really know. People think that I don't scare easy. They say, you're not scared of anything because this is what you do and this and that. And I'm like, it's true to a point. Like, I can handle more horror movies, I think, than the average person. But I'm so really medioso. Like, I don't like to be in an actual haunted house. I like the Universal Studios one, or the Fiesta Texas, the Six Flags ones, because I know those are fake, right? Mm-hmm. And with movies, it's hard. Like, they go either direction. So I'm going to give two. I think one of my favorite Halloween, I say it's a Halloween movie, is Death Becomes Her with Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis. The youth potion, everlasting life. Because it's very campy, it's very glamorous, but it's still like a little spooky, right?
I need to watch that this season again.
Me too.
It's so good. And then I would say one of my other like top favorite scary movies. Y'all said one. I'm going to give you three. Sorry. There's this movie that I really, really love called, it's 1974, El Posesión de Altair, or The Possession of Altair.
That sounds very scary.
It's set in the 70s, and it's a possession movie, but it has a twist in it and I go to the movies at least once a week. I have a season pass, so I'm always there.
Okay.
And this movie, when I saw it, literally jaw on the floor. It was so scary, but also just so well done. So I think once you get past that kind of obstacle of being scared and you start to see like, I guess like the artistry and the writing and all that, that movie was so good to me. And then the final one I'll give you is it's a Guatemalan version directed by Jairo Bustamante of La Llorona. and it's set in Guatemala, and it's centered around the genocide of indigenous Guatemalans. And it's based off of like the real genocide. It's like something that actually happened. And so it's such an impactful story because it's told through that perspective. And so it hits really hard, and that's why it's one of my favorites.
I don't know, Ayden, you said possession. I don't fuck with possessions.
Have you seen When Evil Lurks?
Oh my God, yes. That one was wild.
That one is insane.
I could do possession movies all day. The zombie movies are the one that get me because you said you're going to run the 5K. I don't know about you. I have like an 11-minute mile. I'm not surviving.
I won't be last.
That really, that's like, I'll distract them. You all go. You all keep going. I'll stay back here.
I love, to a certain extent, scary movies. Like, I often watch them. Yeah. I don't know why, because then I'm like walking around my house and my husband is like, go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom and then my husband gets up. He's been doing this thing. Luciano has been doing this thing lately where he scares the fuck out of me. The other day I was back being like, clearly I can't hear you. And instead of saying like, hey, baby, he comes out all creepy, taps me in the shoulder, and then I turn around and yell. Then the other day I was running on the treadmill like 5 a.m. and he decides like to come out but not turn on any lights or not say anything. And I was watching a Netflix show about what was the name? I forgot the name, but it was like about a family in the house or whatever, and it's like all very spooky. And I was like watching, because sometimes spooky things make me run faster, so I watched it on the Peloton tread when I'm running, and I'm like watching this thing where like things jumping out at me. It was partially my fault too, but why would he come out without turning on a single light with his creepy lanky body like this coming out the fucking room? And I turn around, I scream, and then the last thing that I'm going to tell you is that he comes out of the I go to the bathroom right at 3 a.m. I just get up, I have to use the bathroom. Instead of him like turning on a single light to go to the bathroom, it's 3 a.m. I get out of the bathroom, I turn off the light, I'm walking back, and I see this huge shadow in front of me. I'm like, I'm about to die. This is
Murder in Brooklyn.
A demon is in my apartment. So I yell at the top of my lungs, and he turns on the light. He's like, whoa. I'm like, I'm not at fault here. That's crazy.
No.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
Wait, so my biggest takeaway from your story, Cami, is
I forgot where I was going anyway, but I'll figure it out after.
No, but I got a takeaway though. If y'all want to really, really, test your heart rate, get in that fitness, test your fitness out, run to a scary movie.
It works because your heart rate's already up, so your adrenaline's pumping. You're like, I might as well run.
That is such a good idea, honestly.
That. Oh
I'm just gonna start like listening to the audiobook of The Exorcist or something while I run. that'll get me to
outside.
Y'all, wait. So the scariest movie that I've ever watched, and this is a few years ago. Do you guys remember that movie? And it was like the scariest, top ranked on Netflix. It's from Spain, called Veronica.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, okay, so
that one's a classic.
Yeah, so I am the biggest chicken. I hate scary movies. My husband will like mess around and like he'll be on the couch. He'll be flipping through the channels, and he'll like on purpose keep like a scary movie on until I notice it. And I'm like, take it off. I'm like, take it off. Quítalo. No. I'm like, I can't do it, guys. So anyways, this was years ago, and we ate a gummy. And so that's how it all started. And we popped on Veronica, and I couldn't do it, y'all. I couldn't even endure it. I think I pieced out halfway through. I couldn't go. No.
That one, the reason why that one's scary to me is because it's like realistic.
Yes.
Those are the scarier ones. Like if there's like, I don't know, like every now and then I walk by a freaking sewer drain and I'm like, what if something comes out of it? But it's not because I'm like scared of a clown. It's because I'm like...
You don't hear like a hi, Cami.
Oh my God. They all float down here. That movie, Veronica, I like that movie a lot too. I've done an episode because it's based on, like you said, like real events. It's based on a real or an alleged case of possession that happened in Spain. And it's also, I think, the first time that paranormal has been documented on a police report in Spain. And so I did an episode on the actual case. The family was the Gutierrez family, and the actual young woman that it happened to. Her name was Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro. And the movie, it's similar to like the supposed real life events, but it's creepy because there's pictures from the house, and you can see it's like torn up, the mattress that they flip over, and there's like a black sludge under it. They have the picture of like the creepiest detail from that whole story, and I think they put it at the end of the movie too, is that sometime after, unfortunately, Estefania passed away, that there was a picture of her hanging in the family's living room, and there was other pictures around it. And for some reason, her picture, the glass cracked and a fire started on her face, but it only burned up her face in the picture, and nothing else around it was burned.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's
and
spooky.
So now you should watch that tonight, Melissa, knowing that it's real.
Yeah.
Let me get the gummies ready.
Maybe don't, bitch. The last thing that I will say about watching scary movies is that I had a stint where I was watching a lot of scary movies. And then one day I was walking my dog, and where I used to live was like right by the water. And it was like 6 a.m. It was like a nice day. The sun was coming out, and I was just staring at the water in the river. And in my head, I was like, I wonder if like a dead body's gonna come up right now, like float up. And I was like actively waiting for a dead body to like come up in the water. And I was like, maybe I should take a break.
Wait, what?
And I stopped watching scary movies for a minute. I have a really sick brain, you guys. I feel like because I'm so fucked up, like I always think of like the scariest possible situations that could happen at any possible moment. Like the most like gruesome, disgusting, scary situations, those are always happening in my brain. Unfortunately, it's the way that I'm like set up, to the point that when I was little, I used to go to sleep and I used to think about all these scary things as I was like closing my eyes, and I still sometimes have to be like flowers, dandelions, cute things. So I'm not visualizing like a fucking zombie before I'm like going to sleep.
Girl, at least you'd be prepared.
You're getting prepared. Yes, exactly. You know, God forbid a girl be prepared, you know.
God forbid there be a haunting down the street. I got
and when there is, Cami's gonna know what to do, okay?
Run the fuck away.
She's a soul
Separate
survivor.
myself from the family. I want nothing to do with you. I don't have the solution, but I know how to avoid. Okay, I have a couple more questions. So, Ayden is actually, like, we're going to get into some leyendas, right? But then also he's going to hook us up because he's going to tell us 2 scary stories, like 2 party tricks. Like, he's going to hook you up. And I might say one of the ones that I have, and I'm a terrible storyteller, but if we have enough time, I'll do it. What are your favorite horror characters of all time?
Ooh, well, I think, of course, I have to say our girl, La Llorona. I tell people she's like the Beyonce of ghosts, you know? She's worldwide. Everybody knows her. Everybody loves her. That's everybody's go-to. Everybody has a Llorona story. I saw her here. I saw her there. I saw Beyonce in Vegas. I saw La Llorona in McAllen, Texas. You know? She's like, I think, the number one, because it's like, anytime I bring her up at an event, and like no matter the background, everybody has a story about her, or like has heard about her at the very least. So
for those who don't know her, can you say like a little like quick blurb about La Llorona?
Yeah, so La Llorona was a woman who entered into a relationship with a man of, quote, a higher caste or a higher class. In many tellings of the story, she's an indigenous woman who fell in love with the Spaniard man. And in other versions of the story, it wasn't really love. It was he just took her as his companion. And they had children. And one day she caught him with a, quote, proper Spanish woman. And
Cheater.
it drove her into a frenzy. And in this fury and this frenzy, she decided that was it. She was going to end it all. And so she tossed her kids into a river. And when she saw what she did and she came to, she jumped in after them, but it was too late. And her children died. And so now it's said that she cannot enter the afterlife until she finds her children. And so that's why if you're out late by bodies of water in the dead of night, you can hear her crying and calling for her children. Mis hijos, mis hijos.
Oh, wow. Damn. Yeah. Wow. I never knew that one. Like, I don't know. I never knew like the detailed story. I obviously knew and was familiar of La Llorona, but not like that. Like, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's so many different versions too, and she's become this like figure for different kinds of theory, like feminist theory, even queer theory. I've seen people use her story for, but this sort of like, and like you said when I was telling the story, this man cheater, right? It's always her. How could she do this? How could she harm her children? And how could she end her life? And yes, obviously that's not, I wouldn't say that's the quote right answer. But also, the heat is never on the man for abusing this woman, for betraying her, for tossing his whole family aside for a, quote, proper woman. Right?
Okay, Ayden, come on.
Hey, let's wake it up. We got to talk about it.
Thank you. But also, I hope she spooked the F out of him.
This man?
Hell yeah.
Right.
Yo, you would not get enough of me. I would be all up in there crying while you sleeping, while you wake, while you making your coffee in the morning. No
while you brushing
rest.
your teeth.
Exactly.
0%
My boyfriend,
rest
he's
for
always like,
me.
if I die, if I pass on before you, I want you to be happy. I'm like, fuck that, dude. I'm gonna haunt you. Are you kidding me? You better not bring another man into our house.
I know.
Are you kidding me? I'm gonna be there fucking tapping on the window, scratching your feet. Do not bring another man into our bed.
Oh my
Nice try, Jeffrey.
God.
Yeah, good luck, Jeffrey.
Well, this is a perfect transition. Do you believe in ghosts? And have you, if so, maybe not, have you ever experienced one?
I sure do. I think it would be wild for me to do all of this and be like, no. It just ends, right? I absolutely do. I think the way that I have explained it to people is I think that ghosts or hauntings or spirits, a lot of the time, I think they're impressions of energy. You know, we as human beings, as living things, we have energy, right? We have like magnetic fields and all. Listen, I'm not a scientist, okay? I'm just going to preface that real quick. But, you know, we have energy around us and in us. And I think when we have stayed in a place for long enough, if we've lived enough life, or if something really traumatic has happened, we kind of like stamp our energy onto that place and in that time. And so that's kind of how I understand it. I remember when I was growing up, my grandparents raised me, and my mom was a teen mom, and, you know, we're still very close. And she eventually moved out of her parents, my grandparents' house, but, you know, I stayed. They raised me, and so I stayed there. And by this time, she was, you know, already an adult, 20-something, whatever. She moved out. I was a teenager. I was home alone, and I was watching TV. And in our living room, there's this, like, half wall that separates the living room and the hallway in my mom's house. And I was there and I was watching TV and I saw something from the corner of my eye, and I look, and on the other side of this half wall, I saw my mom just looking at me. And I like turned back, and then I did a double take because I remembered I'm home alone. And so I turned again and she was gone, and I get up and I was confused more than anything. I wasn't even scared because it's like, that was my mom. So I get up and I'm looking around, I'm still alone. And so after all this time, after like doing the show and like being really into the paranormal for a very long time, that's kind of just how I've come to understand it, is she lived up until that point her entire life in that house. And so I thought, okay, she stamped her energy in this place. And so I think even then, what people might perceive as a haunting or a ghost may not be from someone who has passed. It could be someone that's still alive. But that's also why when you hear about a haunting or this ghost is stuck in this place, it's because something traumatic happened to them. A lot of ghost stories, they start with tragedy, with death, with sudden death. And so I think because of that, you know, those imprints are left behind. Now, other times I do still believe that at the same time, there are entities, there are spiritual entities and energies that maybe are not human, that could actually be a lingering spirit. But you know, it's not an exact science. All of this is open to interpretation, but that's kind of how I like make sense of it in my head.
Cami, what's the scariest thing that has happened to you? Have you ever dealt with anything like that?
Besides my husband scaring me in the middle of the night. One time I was living in a townhouse in Miami, and I was like, I don't know, I was like 13 or something, and I'm really scared of the dark. So especially at that time. So when I was downstairs, I would have to turn off the lights downstairs, and there was like no switch in between.
Oh,
So I would have to turn off the lights downstairs, and I would sprint up the stairs. And oftentimes I would see my hair when I would turn the corner, and that would freak me out, right? But one time I turned off the light, and then I was actually kind of like jogging up the stairs instead of like sprinting, full blown sprint. I wasn't as scared. And then I heard one of the chairs move, and I had a cat. I had a black cat. Her name was Berta. There's a story, La Bruja Berta, that I was read when I was a kid. My mom was like super into brujas. So I heard this noise downstairs. I come upstairs, and I'm like, oh, well, it was just Berta, right? And then I go into my room, and she's asleep.
No.
And then my brother's
No.
asleep. My mom, I was the only one that was awake. And I was like,
oh my God.
like that was, I don't know, like what could have moved the chair besides my cat? So
Truly.
that was really scary.
Oh my
God.
God.
Wait, so my sister-in-law, they have a house in Bogota, Colombia. This house is pretty old. It's pretty it's like one of those old houses that like when you walk, it's like you could hear every noise, okay? And at the time I was playing on the national team, but in between camps I would stay in this house so I wouldn't have to fly back to the US. And my brother was living there at the time. My brother was doing his master's degree, and so he would go to night classes. I'm like, I don't know, 19 years old, alone in this 5-bedroom big ass house that's already haunted. There's like paintings on the wall of like children, and there's dolls. Like, guys, this place is scary. I'm telling you right now. I took my husband there once. He's like, I never want to go back in there again. No joke. Yeah, like no joke.
I would feel the same.
They have a closed children's playroom. And one day I was like, do you want to go inside? He's like, hell no, do I want to go inside? Like, do not even open that door. So anyways, I was getting ready for bed, and I was alone at home, and I'm just like inside of my bed. And you guys remember, like, especially when DVD players were new and like small like laptops, you would just like watch video like movies maybe in your bed like on a DVD player. I literally had the screen like this, so all I see in front of me is my screen, is the movie I'm playing, nothing around it, just blackness and a screen, kind of like what we all look like at like 11 p.m. at night scrolling on our phones, right?
Yeah.
So imagine that, and then all of a sudden a face pop up right next to the screen.
No.
And going "Rah!" like
To
that.
you?
Yes.
Hello?
My brother,
Oh
literally
my God.
snuck into the house, knew I was already scared of this house.
That was your brother?
Yeah.
Unforgivable.
Yeah, so it wasn't a
Yeah.
ghost, it wasn't a spirit, it was my brother who almost became a ghost that night. I almost killed him, literally.
I literally
guys-
would have
Oh.
murdered him.
Guys, if you guys have ever been so scared to the point that you start crying, that was me. I cried.
I would be too. What the
Oh my
fuck? That's
God.
insane.
That's
I-
what happened
I've-
Did you
to
that's
punch
my
him?
happened-
What was your reaction?
I cried, and then once I like gathered myself, I was like, what did you do? Why would you do that to me? And he was like on the floor dying laughing, and I was just like,
Oh my God.
you just wait till I get you back, whatever. But that's what happens when you're the youngest sister.
Oh my
and
God.
that's
happened-
why I don't watch scary movies.
that's happened to me once, like getting to that point of wanting to cry. I'll tell this one really quickly. I've told this story before, but this was one of the times that it really solidified, like, okay, there's something out there. And I was at a barbecue with my family, and my parents and we ended up staying late because my mom was helping clean up and all that afterwards. And so it was just my tia, my tío, my mom and dad, and myself. And my tia started telling us about this weird stuff that's happening, because they lived in like the rancho in the monte, like they were out there kind of alone, just surrounded by field and grass. And so they were telling us about,
Which is so scary.
yeah,
It
that
is.
alone at night is scary. So they'd start telling us about weird stuff that's happening, and my tia saying how she could see from the kitchen. It's the sink was up against like the very back of the house, and so there was a window over the sink, and she could see into their backyard, which is just like complete darkness, all like open field. and she could see shadows of people walking around. And that my tío would go out to investigate, like, who is on our property, and there would be nobody.
No.
And there was no business. Like, nobody had any business being out there because the road wasn't close by. And so he would go and check, and nothing. And so they're telling us this, and we're all sitting down, and it was like the dining room table. I was at the head of the table. My tia and my tío were on one side, my mom and dad on the other. And then on the other end of the table, there was another chair, but that's where the back door was. And so they're telling us this, and out of nowhere, and it's one of those houses where you could hear everything. It was like built on blocks, so like everything echoes. It's wooden. If somebody's walking on the other side of the house, you're going to hear it. And then all of a sudden, the back door, it starts shaking. And the handle, it's like twisting. Like somebody is trying to open it and like slamming
Absolutely
it.
not.
And it's loose. So like they're like slamming it back and forth. Like they're trying to get inside. And we all just stop and look. And me, I didn't know what to do. And, you know, we just had a barbecue. So there was this like big bottle of soda. And I just got the soda and I put it in front of me to try and hide behind it because I did not know what to do. I was terrified. And it happened like 2 or 3 more times that same night when they were, and each time my uncle would go and throw the door open to see what was out there, and it was nothing. He was like, you know, it's a dog, it's a dog. But either the dog wasn't there, or at one point we even heard the dog like run away crying, you know, like when a dog gets hit. And so
Hell no.
yeah, it was and so then we were like, okay, it's time to go home. And I was like, you want me to go out there to run into the van so that he can go home? It was one of the scariest moments of my life. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Absolutely
Wowzers.
not. Absolutely not. Well, I have another scary story. It was not as scary. I felt a presence. I went to Bogota. To
Does
do
shit
like
just happen in Bogota? Because, like, what's going on?
Was that in Bogota too? Yeah, right?
Mine? Yeah.
Yeah, well, yours was your stupid brother.
That's true.
I went to Bogota for a Betty La Fea thing, and I stayed at the Four Seasons in Bogota, bougie, I know. And then they put me in this, like, in the tower in the back. It was a huge room, but I stay in a hotel room. I want the smallest room possible, so there's like less space for entities to be floating around or anything. So I go and like for some reason I couldn't fall asleep, and it was so quiet. And now I'm in New York, so it's so loud, and I heard just silence. It was just like silence, and I was waiting for the moment where like somebody would step on the wood and like creak, and I was like, I can't do this. So I put like Animal Planet. I was like, Steve Irwin was like yelling in my ear the whole night. I didn't sleep anything. The next day I was like, I don't know, guys, and I never say this. I literally never say this. And I was like, I don't know, guys. I just feel like there was like something wasn't right in my room. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there was something, and I was waiting for something to happen, and that never happens to me. Like, never. And I kept talking, and el baterista, like the drummer from Foo Fighters, passed away in the hotel. And I was in such a huge room, and I was like talking to somebody. I think they lied to me because they're like, what room are you in? And I was like, oh, like 520. He's like, oh, you're good. He died in 522. We were talking about it last night. And I was like, that night I came back to the hotel room, and I was like, I love your music. I used to listen to you all the time in a closet in my kitchen. I'm here in peace. Like, I really fuck with you. I'm so sorry you're gone. Like, I was talking to him.
Just don't fuck with me. Just don't fuck with me.
Right.
But I felt so much. I felt better because I was like, okay, we're vibes, you know, like nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like a positive thing. But yeah, I didn't sleep well. Anyway, I want to know from you, because obviously La Llorona is like a big one, but like La Chupacabra.
Oh.
Is La Chupacabra real?
Can I do the voice of it?
There's a voice.
What?
Chupacabra. You never heard
Oh
of
my God.
No, bitch, what is that, a
What is
dembo?
that?
that?
That's like a. But
You all right now go on YouTube and just put like Chupacabra sounds, and you'll see.
That's so fake,
You'll-
bro.
that's like
Well-
what Pokemon do.
My
Yeah,
brothers,
literally,
my brothers also used to scare me. They would like go next to the bed and be like Chupacabra, and I'm like, ah, yeah, okay.
That's so funny. I don't know. The Chupacabra, it gives me like alien vibes. You know? I'm like, I think maybe that is an extraterrestrial kind of thing. It got lost, and maybe it like bred here on Earth, and so now there's more of them. I don't know. I personally have never seen one. I know that there was this like Chupacabra sensation, I guess, in Puerto Rico for a while in, I think, the 80s or 90s. and it was like all over the news. Like people were swearing like they're killing our livestock, and so I don't know. I always take it here, but it gives me like economic panic, you know, if it's attacking the livestock. That's people's livelihoods, right? You know,
Yeah.
some people, they rely on that livestock for
It's true. I didn't think about it that way.
Right? And so like it's like an economic kind of impact, is it's like, well, now all this product is ruined because the
Guys,
Chupacabra got to it.
If we get into a recession, it's the Chupacabra.
It's that the Chupacabra is a real recession indicator. There's that for sure.
That's so real. That's so real. I felt that. Damn. Okay, so Chupacabra is not real. What about
Duendes.
yeah, what about duendes?
Okay, I do think duendes are real, and I'm gonna give you all.
I have a duende here. My tia, she makes duendes in a feria in Bariloche in Argentina, in Patagonia. Like she makes duendes.
Wow.
Okay, you need to send me a picture of that because that sounds so cool. But I do think they're real. I will say, I don't know if you've heard this, but I've heard, like with many things, you know, just saying the word duende is like you calling to them. So every
Great.
time I say it, I make sure to say, this is not an invitation. Please do not
This is
hide
not
my
an
shit.
invitation.
Yo, you hear that? I did not invite anybody.
It's already bad enough. I lose track of everything. So please don't hide my stuff from me. But they say that if you are dealing with the duende, or you think
What
you
do
are,
they do though? First off,
so
before?
they're these like little humanoid creatures, similar to like gnomes or elves. People will say. No, they're these small creatures, and they're very mischievous. So they're known to, you know, hide in dark corners of your home or hide in the walls. And they will mess with you by moving your stuff around or just taking it for themselves and hiding it. And in some stories, they can even be helpful. They're like forest dwelling creatures. So there was that story of these children who were on a plane over the Amazon jungle. I think it was over over Colombia, and the plane went down, and the pilot and their mother unfortunately passed away. And it was a group of, I think, 4 children, the oldest one being 12, the youngest being an infant. They spent 40 nights in the Amazon jungle, and they survived. And in those 40 nights, the infant turned 1 year old. Or 1 year old in that time. But after they were found and rescued, their grandmother, in an interview, she said that the forest saved them, that a duende was guiding them to safety throughout those 40 nights.
Wait,
so they can
I
also
love
be
them.
helpful. Yeah.
So they can also be cute.
I
No,
don't
they
mind if
can.
they like make my stuff like go missing for a minute. But
Well,
like,
people
put
will
it
say
back.
that they work with the duendes, and so they'll leave them offerings. So you can leave them like little pieces of candy or shiny things, and that if you don't want to work with them, if you don't want them in your home, that you open the back door, you grab some candy, and you say, "Hey, like here, I have this for you. Go get it," and you leave it open for a little bit as they go out, and then you close the door, and that should get rid of them.
Wow.
But some people do like have like it on
That's
their
so cute.
altares or whatever. Yeah, like they'll have like a little like offerings to them to say like, whenever I need you, you know, I've got your back, so you're gonna have mine.
What if I have a little duende like thing? Is that bad?
I don't think so. I mean, it could be seen as like admiration,
Friends.
right? Yeah, like you're
Yeah.
like, this is my symbol that like I'm on your side. You're my friend.
We fam.
Yes, my little homies.
Yeah, in the club we all fam. Okay, what about brujas?
You're looking at one. What are you talking
You're a
about?
bruja?
Yes.
I think
Talk to us about brujas.
I mean, brujas are people, right? You know, I think a lot of people are like born into brujeria depending on their family, like who their family is, what they do. I think people can also discover brujeria, much like me. Like later in my life, I discovered brujeria, and I practice a little bit here and there. I wouldn't say like,
shit.
I am a brujo, you can come to me and I'm gonna do things for you. No, it's for me, it's way more, my personal journey with it is way more about like introspection and like building my own life. So like I wouldn't provide services, but some of my closest friends, they do provide services. I have
What
a
is a
friend
service? Yeah.
you know, like cleansings or readings, or like workings to you know, bring favor into your life or to protect you. But like one of my best friends since like high school, she's shout out Alejandra. She did an episode with me all about demons, and she's been all over the world, and she has trained with a shaman. I remember one time she was like, "Hey guys, I'm not going to be responding to text messages because I'm going to be in the Amazon jungle for like 30 days next week."
Wait, I love that.
I was like, "Okay, good luck. Like, text us when you get back."
They're doing creepy shit, by the way.
Yeah.
They're just like on a retreat. Like, this like trying to be out there looking for spirits and shit.
Literally.
All from a cell phone. Does she have a mom? Oh my
God. No, and like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and but there's also stories of the brujas who can transform into like balls of fire, and they travel that way. Or the lechuza, right? People say that they can transform into owls, and they're known to be more mischievous or quote evil. But I don't know, with those sorts of things, I don't think I'll say the majority of the time, I don't think any one thing is just inherently evil. I think it comes down to individual practice. And
Guys,
so, like with
keep going.
witches too, yeah, like with witches too, I think it's it comes down to the individual.
I have a question, which is actually based off of a true story. I'm not going to drop names, but I know someone who the ex was a woman. He's a man. The ex, like they did not leave on good terms. There was no cheating involved, but they just didn't break up good. And she was like super into all of this, also from Colombia. And she like put, I guess, like this spell, like this 3 things on him. And one of those things was his next like hookup, he couldn't get it up. And it was true. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's probably because she knew. Let's be so fucking for real.
Knew what?
She knew he had a problem, probably. And he's lying about it.
It was the first time.
That's why he's like, "Oh, it's blue."
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he could be saving face. He could be saving
ass.
face. That's very true.
On my ass.
No, I'm dead. I can't wait.
That could be true.
This person listens to this.
I want to get your scary stories. So
Okay.
let's just make pretend like we're sitting around a fire pit right now. We're in the forest. We're camping. Let's tell us a scary story.
Okay, I'm gonna.
These are what? Wait, these are easy ones to remember that people can like use on their friends later, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So this is a classic legend that I grew up hearing, and a lot of people will say that it happened in their town or in their neck of the woods, right? But I heard of this story happening in the Rio Grande Valley, where I'm from, which is a collection of smaller cities. And so this allegedly happened in McAllen, Texas, at a club called Boccaccio 2000 in 1979. But there was this young woman who was very pious. She was very obedient to her parents, really strict religious upbringing, kind of sheltered. And she decided one night, you know what? I want to have fun. I want to go to the dance with my friends. And so she, depending on who's telling the story, she either snuck out or she lied about where she was going, but she made the decision, I'm going to go have fun tonight. I want to go dance. So she made it out of the house. She went with her friends. They go to this dance hall. She's having a great time. And she's approached by this man. And, there's speculation about what he looked like, but generally tall, dark, and handsome, right? He's probably wearing like boots, the Wranglers, the Stetson, like real vaquero kind of type. And so he asks her to dance, and she says, okay. And it's just them two on the dance floor, basically. Like they exist in a bubble. There's nobody else with them. They're having a beautiful time. And she suddenly snaps out of it because she hears people screaming. And so she looks around and she sees that the people that are screaming, they're pointing. And she looks and they're pointing down at their feet. And she's confused. And so she looks and they're still moving around. They're still spinning on the dance floor. And she looks down and she sees that this handsome man, her dance partner, his feet, one of them is a chicken's talon and the other one is a goat's hoof. And she realizes that she's dancing with the devil.
Oh.
And she's trying to break away, but he's holding her tight and they're still spinning. And different versions of the story say that he danced her to death. Another version says that he suddenly just like exploded into a black plume of smoke and that he vanished. and that she was left on the dance floor passed out with burn marks on her body in the shape of handprints where he was holding her. And you could just smell sulfur in the entire dance hall, and nobody ever saw him again.
Wow.
Whoa.
And that was the night that a girl danced with the devil.
Yeah, don't let that happens in Miami a lot.
I know. I was going to say, I was like, listen,
Typical night out in Brickell.
Wynwood.
I have encountered many
Beach.
demon twinks out there. I used to be one, so.
My God. That's like a Meli rated scary story. That one's not that scary.
Thank you.
But it's
Thank you.
still very spooky.
It is.
I have
Yeah.
a scary one. It's a little gruesome though. I don't know if we want to
Okay.
talk about it.
Let's hear
Do
it.
it.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Set the
Okay.
scene. Set the scene.
It was in Spanish, but I don't know. I'm gonna say it in English. So this person's in their apartment, right? There's a person in their apartment, and they're getting ready to go to sleep. Like it's late at night, and they have the radio on. And in the radio, they're like, "Oh, well, somebody has escaped el manicomio." How do you say that in the psych ward? So, right?
I think so.
Yeah, a psych ward. Somebody's escaped the psych ward, so and it's within the neighborhood. So make sure
ins-
that you like lock your doors.
Insane asylum.
Insane asylum. So make sure that you lock your doors, whatever. So this person goes, they lock their doors, they like close the blinds, they lock their windows, they lock everything, and then they go to sleep. And before they go to sleep, they have a dog, so they put their hand down every night, and the dog licks their hand. So the person puts the hand down underneath the bed, the dog licks the hand, they go to sleep. Then in the middle of the night, they hear a noise coming from the bathroom. So when they go into the bathroom, they turn on the light, and they see something behind the curtain. So they open up the curtain, and they see the dog that's like dead hanging there. And then written with the dog's blood in the mirror, it says, "Crazy people can lick too."
No.
I hate that. I hated that.
It was
That's
terrible.
disgusting. Oh my God. Listen, I always say people are scarier than the ghosts. People are so much scarier.
Yo, that's a scary story for real, for real.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I feel like it's scarier
Wow.
in Spanish, but
No, but that was good. That was good. That was good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really
Aiden
good.
wasn't a fan, but it was good.
I wasn't a fan because it was good. It's too scary.
do you have another one that you want to say? Or Meli, do you have one?
No, maybe on a lighter note, do you guys know what like a serial killer, what their favorite weapon is?
Their hands.
spoon.
I don't know.
A spoon.
Spoon. That is. Oh my God. You know what?
As you can see, I don't fuck with scary stuff.
Me. Their hands. I don't know.
I know her. That's why I knew it was a spoon.
Oh my God.
Aiden's like thinking about all these like crazy like instruments, like weapons.
I know, right?
Kami's looking at
literally.
me like a spoon, bitch.
Oh my God.
Oh, so good. All right. Shall we move on?
Wait, do you have another story?
I do have one more really quick.
yeah.
This is
Okay,
another
okay,
one
drop it.
kind of like it's kind of like on that same vein of like those urban legends. You may have heard it, but it's a story of this woman who she traveled with a friend and they went out partying, and she met this guy, and like he really wanted to take her home. They were really feeling each other. They were making out on the dance floor, and like he got her all the way into his car. And like they were making out there, and he was like, "No, let's go," and tried to go with her, and she was like, "No, I can't." And her friend even came out and like went to the car and said, "No, you're not going. Like, we're not from here. We said we weren't going to separate. We need to leave." So her friend took her. They go back home, and maybe like a week or so later, she starts breaking out in this rash around her mouth. And she goes to the doctor, and she's like, "I don't know, like what's happening." And he was like, "Do you have allergies? Have you eaten anything? And were you traveling recently?" And she said, "Actually,
was
yeah,
dead,
I
wasn't
was on
he?"
vacation." Close. I was on vacation, and she's like, "What?" She said, "Actually, I'm worried because I was making out with this guy, and he was the only person on the vacation that I did anything with, but we didn't, like, it was just kissing." And he was like, "Well, we're gonna run some tests just to, see what it might be." So they do swabs and all that, take samples. They go. A couple days later, she gets a call from the doctor's office, and he says, "Hi, Miss So-and-so, we need you to come to the doctor's office now, please.
I'm gonna
So she
cry.
goes back and she's freaking out. She thinks like, what is this? And she goes and the doctor puts her, they put her in a room. The doctor walks in and he has 2 police officers with him. And they're like, can you tell us more about this man that you were telling us about? And she was like tried to describe him, but didn't have any real information on him. She's like, okay, what is happening? Why are you all asking me about him? Why are there police here and the doctor? What's going on? And they go, well, we took the samples and it's a bacteria that people get when they eat human flesh.
Nope.
So her friend essentially like saved her life that night.
Jesus. That's what you get for being a
Be careful
sucia.
who you make out. No. Let us sucias live.
I'm shook. I
So
have
just,
no words.
you know, be
That's
careful who
cool.
you make out with when you're traveling.
Oh, seriously.
Oh my god! As if I needed something else to worry about when traveling alone as a woman.
No, honestly,
Good thing
right?
I'm married, so I won't be, with anybody.
I'm not saying. Those days are long gone. Okay, Ayden, please tell us, how did you get started? Your passion for all of this spooky life and paranormal. This is quite interesting.
It started really young for me when I have this book that I always reference. But when I was in elementary, they used to read this book to us in class. It was called Stories That Must Not Die. And it was full of folklore and fables. And there was actually the story of La Llorona in there and the girl who danced with the devil. And again, mind you, they're reading this to third graders. And it seems weird to think about that, but the stories were side by side in the book in English and Spanish. And then at the end of the stories, there was a set of questions. So they were basically teaching us reading comprehension through folklore and through horror stories many times. And so these kinds of stories have been part of my life since as long as I can remember, because if it wasn't that, it was at a family barbecue or a get together with friends. The conversation always ended up there. The sun would set and people would say, so-and-so, Tia Chencha saw the devil on the ranch last night. And it's like, okay, well, now we're going there and we're telling these stories. So they've just always been part of my upbringing. And then when I started listening to podcasts, I really wanted to hear a show about these stories. And I had a very clear vision of what I wanted it to sound like. And I couldn't find something that exactly fit that. And so I'm a Virgo rising. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. And so 6 years later, here I am.
And now you've been creating podcast episodes since 2019. You have a lot that you've covered since then.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's been a really, really cool journey. I've expanded from just that region of the world. So northern Mexico, South Texas. And in doing the show, I've made connections to other cultures within the Latin American diaspora that I had never really thought about before. But there's so many similarities. And sometimes there's things that I've never heard about. And it's just really, really interesting to hear about and to share those stories.
Wow, that is amazing. For our listeners, where can they hear your podcast and listen to your stories?
Or find you in general.
Yeah.
So Susto is on every podcast platform. That's SUSTO. You can find me on social media at Susto Podcast on every platform and on my website at sustopodcast.com.
I love the name, by the way.
Thank
Me
you.
too.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us. I
Thank
can't
you
wait
for
to
having
go
me.
back and listen to more of your episodes. I listened to one this morning and I was like, ooh, it's really getting me in the mood. A little spooky
Yes.
season.
Glad you
Just
liked
not,
it.
just not with one of those killers at the club.
Yeah.
No.
please. At least I'll know what to look out for. You gotta always be prepared.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us, Ayden.
Thank you, Ayden.
All right, guys. Well, that was a little spooky, if you will. I'm obsessed with Ayden. I want him to come hang out with me.
He is so fun. Honestly, as we were preparing for the show, I was like, oh my God, am I going to get nightmares tonight? Because that's how I am. I'm a little scaredy cat.
I actually feel better.
Me too, honestly. That
My
was
story
awesome.
was the worst, I think.
I agree. And my joke was the worst too.
Actually, I don't know. The flesh eating one was a little rough. But anyway, we're here for Ame Famosa. And as you know, we got you covered in the world of music and deporte with my girl Meli. I was thinking about a spooky soundtrack kind of situation. And I made like spooky rock en español
Ooh.
playlist, which you can find on my Spotify, not my artist Spotify, my personal Spotify. LOL.
Okay,
Uh,
recording artist.
but one of the bands that actually is a part of the soundtrack for Veronica, the movie that you mentioned, that's so good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Is called Héroes.
Maybe not eat a gummy before you watch it, but go on.
Yeah, don't do that. It's called Héroes del Silencio. So if you want to like, and the vibe is so good, we'll link the link to the playlist on this episode so that you guys can listen to it. But that's like my spooky rock en español playlist that I've been working on for some time. It's been a personal project. Actually, I don't even know if it's public, but I'm gonna make it public for you guys. And then I'll send it to you, Meli, so you can get spooked out in the street.
Thank you. Maybe that'll be for my cardio day as I go to run.
And also, if you want to get really scared, I know that Ayden was like, yeah, it's not my favorite because it's so scary. It's called When Evil Lurks. You guys, we need to watch that. It won like a lot of awards. It's an Argentinian film. And foreign spooky films are the scariest.
They are. I think Veronica might have been my last one. Either that or like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I can't do.
Oh,
I can't
God.
do it. Yeah. But
The
also,
Ring was so bad for me.
Ooh, yeah.
I watched The Sixth Sense when I was like 7 years old. I was like, mommy, papi, like, what the fuck? Like, I know in Argentina, like, kids watch whatever. Like, there's literally porn at 10 p.m. in the public TV. But, like, that was a
True.
little bit of a lot.
You could have just put porn on the television.
I preferred porn. Thank you so much.
I am sad. That is actually funny. I'm also excited though for Hocus Pocus. Like that's gonna be on replay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I name dropped Hocus Pocus this entire episode, which I am so sorry. Because that's my favorite. My favorite. Also, they have a really good soundtrack, and I'm trying to remember. It's been a while.
Wait, something else that I want to highlight. There's like post-punk reggaeton music. So it's like
Okay.
reggaeton music that's like boy is a boy. But it's like rock. It's like alternative rock music. I'll send you that one. Like that one's also like a hit, and it's like spooky season vibes, but also like the words, so it hits.
Dope. All right. Cool. In the world of sports, I do want to give my flowers to someone super special who just retired from soccer, women's soccer specifically, and that is former U.S. women's national team player and Angel City player Kristen Press. Not only is she was one of the most prolific scorers on the globe, she was one of the biggest stars in women's soccer. She earned 155 caps. Caps in the terminology of soccer means like she represented the USA 155 times. So if anybody refers to like how many caps did you have, it's how many times did you actually play for your national team. She scored 64 goals for the U.S. women's national team and helped lead the squad to 2 FIFA Women's World Cup titles, and she was a bronze medalist. One of the things that really hit me about her story is that she's gone through so many trials and tribulations. One of them being she just got back last year from an ACL tear, which took around, 2 years to get back to playing. She went through a lot after that knee injury. She's 36 years old, so it was towards the latter end of her career. But one of the things that like literally I was like nearly in tears is that her mom passed away in 2019 when Kristen was, in her late 20s. Her mom was only 58, 59 years old. And it was something unexpected. And it was something that Kristen has openly spoken about and like how she, dealt with being an athlete and dealing with that type of grief after her mom's passing. Look up her story. There's this really just like beautiful story that she's open about where the night that her mom passed, she played in a game. And so I know like this whole episode was also about like connection and all of that, but like one is celebrating Kristen Press's incredible career, but also just being an example of dealing with so many different trials and tribulations over her career and just being an incredible athlete at the same time. So just like I literally could just think about that story I listened to and just like think about the tears rolling down because it was really impactful.
That's crazy. She played that same night too. One of the things we didn't touch base on in this episode too is Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
which is such a beautiful tradition. If you haven't heard of Dia de los Muertos or you haven't watched the movie Coco,
Oh.
you need to. It's such a sweet way to think about the afterlife. And for the first time this year, I'm going to a wedding in Mexico, and we're going to be celebrating Dia de los Muertos. And they asked for photos of loved ones that had passed away. And I sent so many because
Oh my God.
they were like, a photo. I was like, I can't send a picture of my abuelo without sending a picture of my abuela because they're going to get heated.
Yeah, you gotta
And
be
then
fair.
I have to send a picture of my cousins. So I was like, we sent like 6 pictures between Luciano and I. And she was like, that is perfectly fine. But I was like, I just want everybody to like have the opportunity to like come in and dance with us for, at least an evening or a day and to remember them. So I just thought it was something interesting that I'm excited and looking forward to celebrating this year that I've always like wanted to do, especially since the first year that I did my Dia de los Muertos ride at Peloton, which was very special for me to like look into that part of the of culture, of Latin American culture for sure.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was real.
This was real. This was real interesting today and real spooky. So thank you guys for joining us.
I'm like in the mood to go get like a pumpkin spice latte now.
Yeah, same.
All right, guys. You guys maybe too.
Or a witch's brew.
Or that too.
Yeah.
Oh, so fun. Okay, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this really unique and special episode of Hasta Abajo podcast. Hit us up in our DMs at Hasta Abajo Pod on IG. Let us know what you thought about it.
Share some spooky stories. Why not?
Yes, please, because we will share them as well.
Yeah.
But until next time.
Hasta abajo. Hasta abajo. Ay.
Hasta Abajo is an iHeart women's sports production in partnership with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment.
For more podcasts, listen to the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.